All right. I'm going to work with you guys through our problems from today. Here we go. This will take us probably about 10 minutes. All right. Situating here. So this is a minus 7, so we're going to add 7 to both sides since it's negative. We add the opposite of the constant. That gives us negative 5a, which equals 45 when you add 38 and 7. Then we divide both sides by negative 5. And so a, 45 divided by negative 5 is negative 9. Next one, we subtract 2 from both sides because we're adding the opposite of the constant. The constant is 2. The opposite of positive 2 is negative 2. So we have negative 102 equals 6x. We divide by 6 to both sides. That gives us, that would be negative 1 and then 7, so negative 17. In the next one, the constant's a positive 7, so we add a negative 7 to both sides. Same signs, add and keep, so that's negative 126 equals negative 9n. We divide both sides by a negative 9. Dividing a negative by a negative is same sign, so this will be a positive. 126 divided by 9 is 1, and then that's 4, so 14. Next row. Next row, our constant is a negative 4, so we'll add the opposite, which is positive 4. Negative 76 plus 4 is negative 72. That gives you negative 4v. We divide both sides by negative 4. Dividing a negative by a negative is a positive. 72 divided by 4 is 18, and that equals v. Our constant's 5. The opposite of positive 5 is negative 5, so we're subtracting 5 from both sides. That gives us negative 3 plus negative 5 is negative 8. We divide both sides by 2. A negative divided by a positive is a negative, and 8 divided by 2 is 4. Over here, our constant is positive 10, so we subtract 10 from both sides. 58 minus 10 is 48, and then we have equals negative 6v. We divide both sides by negative 6. And v is negative 8. When you divide a positive by a negative, it's a negative. Over here, our constant is negative 5. The opposite of negative 5 is positive 5, so we add 5 to both sides. We then have 3x. Negative 20 plus negative 5 is negative 15. The way that we undo multiplication is through division, so we divide both sides by 3. A negative divided by a positive is a negative, so that's negative 5 equals x. Over here, our constant is positive 6. The opposite of a positive is a negative, so we add negative 6 to both sides. Negative 4n equals negative 20. We divide both sides by negative 4n to undo the multiplication. A negative divided by a negative is a positive, and 20 divided by 4 is 5. Here we have a negative 5. The opposite of a negative 5 is a positive 5, so we add 5 to both sides. That gives us 2x equals negative 34. We divide both sides to undo multiplication. When we divide a positive by a negative by a positive, that's a negative, so we have negative 17. So let's turn the paper over. So now, to undo subtraction, I should say it this way. Our constant's negative 10, so we're going to add the opposite, which is positive 10. Negative 40 plus 10 is negative 30. Equals 5n. To undo multiplication, we divide both sides by 5. Negative 30 divided by 5 is negative 6, so our answer is negative 6n. Our constant is negative 2. The opposite of a negative 2 is a positive 2, so we add positive 2 to both sides. That gives us negative 35 plus 2, negative 37 plus 2, which is negative 35. We divide both sides by 7. Dividing a negative by a positive gives us a negative. Dividing 35 by 7 gives us negative 5. Over here, we're dividing a negative 4. We've got a negative 4 for the constant, so we're going to add the opposite, which is positive 4. Negative 52 plus 4 is negative 48. Then we have 4x. We undo multiplication with division, so we divide both sides by 4. A negative divided by a positive is a negative, so that's negative 12. All right. Brian Joan had $261 to spend on 8 books. After buying them, he had $13. How much did each book cost? We start at $261 minus 8b equals 13. Our constant is 261. It's positive, so we're going to add a negative 261 to both sides. That's a subtraction problem because these two signs are different, so I'm going to write over here 261 minus 13. I'm too lazy to go find the calculator. 11 minus 3 is 8. 5 minus 1 is 4, and that drops to a 2, so that equals 248. We then subtract or divide both sides by negative 8. That's a negative 248. Divide both sides by negative 8, and b equals $31. Next one, the product of negative 6 and the number is increased by 42, so that's negative 6n plus 42 equals negative 90. We're going to subtract 42 from both sides because that's the opposite of positive 42, and 42 is the constant. We have negative 6n equals, this is negative 132. We divide both sides by negative n, because, or negative 6, sorry, because negative 6 is the coefficient, and that's how we undo multiplication. So we have n equals, and this becomes 22. When you divide two negatives together, they become a positive, and 132 divided by 6 is 22. Last but not least, Miles bought a soft drink for $3, so that he spent $3, that's minus 3, or negative 3, minus, he also spends money on 5 candy bars. He spends a total of $28, so it's a negative 28. Our constant's negative 3, the opposite of negative 3 is positive 3, so we add 3 to both sides. Negative 5c equals, that's negative 25. So we're going to divide both sides by negative 5 to undo the multiplication, and that gives us two negatives divided together are positive, and 25 divided by 5 is 5. So we're looking at $5 for candy bar. Those are expensive candy bars. All right, there you go. Hope this helps.